most of the time I'm loud enough that I don't usually have to talk and use a microphone. So, but this was the completion of my 20th year as the girls basketball coach at Tempe High. And let me tell you, as you all know, coaches, athletic directors, everybody, it was quite a year. I specifically am very fortunate to have an athletic director and an athletic secretary who, I don't know how they did what they did this year. Shelly Arredondo, Mary Finucci, both, we didn't have to worry with anything about transportation, equipment. They did a great job. It was a safe facility. And so I just, first off, want to thank them very much. Secondly, the Tempe All City. I'm glad we have this little opportunity here to continue the tradition that started many years ago. And I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of athletes come through this all the time. So that thank you goes out to you guys as well. And then for my athlete, she has been it's a privilege to have her. April Tuason, why don't you come on down? April's been with me for 2 years. And she's one of those athletes that if she would have played at another school with 5 D1 players, she would have been fantastic. She would have been the best player on that team. At Tempe High, we don't have a lot of depth, so whenever she would step on the floor, all of our opponents, she'd have 1, 2, even times 3 people trying to guard her. She still averaged, I'm not supposed to do statistics, she averaged over 15 points a game, and she made every one of her teammates better, all the time. She threw passes that they didn't expect. They missed them the first couple times, they'd catch them the second time. She was always encouraging. They never were intimidated by her talent. And that was the best part about her leadership, and that as times went on through the seasons and she understood what she could do for us, she stepped up and did it fantastically. She did it really good. Anyway, she has been a real pleasure. She's going to continue her playing career over the next few years as she goes to college. And just for fun, she decided to play softball this year. And she's doing well at that. And I just explained to her, of course you did. You're an athlete. Athletes play sports and they excel. And academically, she's an excellent student, almost 4.0, if not 4.0. And in this day and age, that's even more fantastic. So this is April Tuason. Thank you very much.
Thank you to the All-City Association. Thank you to the Tempe Union High School Board members. Thank you to the Tempe Union High School Board Superintendency. Thank you to the Tempe Union High School coaches and student athletes. And most importantly, thank you to my athletic director, Ms. Shelly Arredondo, and her assistant, Ms. Mary Finucci. As Coach Morton said, those 2 ladies work above and beyond. The young man represented here today is David Galeana Sanchez. David is a 3-year varsity player and a 2-year captain. David led us this year in both rebounding and assists. In 34 years of coaching, David is one of the most coachable student athletes I've ever had the privilege of working with. Along with being selected to the Tempe All-City team, he was also selected to the Desert Sky Region 2nd team. David carries a 3.78 grade, cumulative grade point average, and he is deciding between Arizona State and Northern Arizona, where both institutions are offering him academic scholarships. To David and his family, thank you guys very much for allowing me to work with him for the last 4 years.
All right, I'd like to echo what my comrade stated about both thank you to the Tempe All City for putting this on. A lot of things have been taken away from our students, from our athletes throughout this year, and just to have them be acknowledged, I think is a really cool thing. So thank you so much for putting this on. Then also thank you to my athletic director, Shelly Arredondo, and her assistant, Mary Finucci, for once again making this a very easy year, all things considered, and being there for support. The two young ladies who I have the opportunity to represent today are Aaliyah Aguilar Alvarez and Jasmine Zamudio Gomez. And I'll just kind of speak about each of them kind of in turn. This year, it's been stated already, was a difficult year when it came to having people come out. I mean, we didn't have school up until March, and so for people to make a commitment to come to school, on a daily basis, to practice, go to games, and all of these things that go into that was a really big deal, and I really appreciate just to have a team this year. But our numbers were really low, and we as a team had to fight, and we had to fight together. The first one who I've got for you, Aaliyah Aguilar, she played a little bit of everything this year, primarily down the middle of the field and the midfield. But if I asked Aaliyah to play defense, she'd get back and she'd play defense for me. If Aaliyah was our best the best person for us to score goals, Aaliyah would go play forward. She'd play inside, she'd play outside, she played all over the pitch, and she won balls in the air, fought hard, has great vision, and a thunderous right foot. So it was a lot of fun to be able to coach Aaliyah this year, and with her just being a sophomore, I'm really happy for the next 2 years to have the opportunity to coach her. So thank you, and Aaliyah. Secondly, my second athlete is Jasmine Zamudio Gomez. Jasmine played forward for us this year, and Jasmine, number one, is very talented on the ball. She's a very good athlete. I think she underrates herself sometimes as an athlete and what she's capable of when it comes to her strength, when it comes to her speed, and then just her ability to find people in an open spot. As a forward, there's some kind of a difficult combination of being selfish and want to score, but then also knowing when to play the ball off. And not many people or forwards kind of have that understanding, but Jasmine had that. She wasn't a selfish player, but she scored goals, and that was there. I think my favorite portion for maybe either of these two players this season in the Greenway game when we were up 1 goal with hardly any time left, and one player on their team seemed to be striking out and being their most dangerous. Aaliyah made a decision to shut her down, and that was a really cool thing to see, the competitive nature of Aaliyah. In terms of Jasmine, she scored some really cool goals, but I think my favorite Jasmine Zamudio image was a game against Vista Grand, in which we played with 10 players, and which is a player down and no substitutions, and I saw her give it like the absolute all of what she had, and tackles that she made, and just overall effort was so cool to see, and both turning points, I think, for them at different parts of the season. So Jasmine's a junior; she'll be back next year, I hope, for both of them, and that I have the opportunity to coach them again. But thank you very much once again to everybody for being here, and Jasmine and Aaliyah for being wonderful young ladies and student athletes. Thank you.
Putting this on, and especially my AD and for Mary for everything that they've done for us this year. I have 3 players, but only one is here, so I'm just going to talk about him. I've been coaching for 22 years, all at Tempe High, and he's one of the most special and favorite players I've ever had the privilege of coaching. Incredibly fit, fast, talented, hardworking, humble, talented in the classroom as well. Very intelligent young man. As far as his value to our program, he was a 4-year varsity player, 3-year starter, captain this year. In addition to All-City, he was regional player of the year, regional offensive player of the year, first team All-Region. Led us to our region title our 4th and 5th years, 5 years rather, and led us to the quarters. He scored 3 out of our 4 goals in the state playoffs. I wish I could redshirt him and bring him back for a lot of different reasons, but we're hoping to get him to play next year. But I give you one of the best and talented players ever to play at Tempe High, Mr. Victor Cruz.
Good morning, everyone. So as I was introduced, my name is Shane McBurney, and I have the pleasure to introduce my father into the Tempe All-City Hall of Fame, where he will be joining the likes of and members such as Gary Venturo, also as well as Ed Judy and Jimmy Williams. And what an honor it is. So to give you a little background on my father, he graduated in 1967 from Tempe High School. From there, he went on to run track at Arizona State University and graduated with a BA in education. 3 years later, he finished up with a master's degree, and this led him into a 47-year career as a teacher and a coach. His coaching experience expands into wrestling, football, and track. He has over 25 years of head coach track experience, with numerous individual state champions, and in 1987, helped lead Tempe to runner-up in the 5A state championship, as well as in a third place finish in 1989. He also brought innovation to the weight room, helping lead Tempe to become one of the first schools to implement the clean and snatch program. As a head football coach, he amassed 129 victories throughout his career. He at least reached the quarterfinals in 7 years, and at least the semifinalist in 3 seasons. Ultimately, in 1996, he helped lead the Tempe Buffaloes to an undefeated season and a state championship. That same year, he also was named the Arizona Football Coach of the Year and was also given the honors to coach the All-Star game as the head coach for the ACA. Later in his career, he was inducted into the Coaches Association for Arizona Hall of Fame in 2007, and also the National Coaches Hall of Fame in 2019. I'm very proud to have this opportunity, and it is my pleasure to introduce the newest member of the Tempe All-City Hall of Fame, Tim McBurney.
Thank you, Shane. I'll pay you afterwards for all the kind words. First of all, I'd really like to thank God for making me worthy of all the blessings that have bestowed upon me and my family. Without him, I wouldn't be here. Thank my sons, Sean, my oldest boy, Shane, and Ryan, Shane's wife, Carly, who has to work today, and she's expecting her first child. My grandson, Cole, and Caitlin. Most of all, my wife, Joyce, who's here today, and my sister, Madge, who's also here today, and my mom, who couldn't be here. She's 101 and still lives alone. Tough lady. As a young man, I was influenced by Vince Lombardi, who said God, family, and the Green Bay Packers. Well, obviously, I took a hold of that and tried to live my life as Tempe High and replaced the Green Bay Packers. My wife, Joyce, of 34 years, has been my best friend and allowed me to devote my life to my career. My sons have made my life so rewarding and full of love. I got to coach them, which a lot of coaches don't get to do at Basha High School. And one of the things I always told them was to play, you've got to be better than anybody on the field. Everybody's got to know you're better. You can't be as good. And both of them were. And National Scholastic Hall of Fame, Shane was inducted into his senior year. My other son, Ryan, was a first-team All-State 5A tight end. So they did their job of preparing and become great student athletes. I was at Tempe High for 36 years. Great years. Coaching and teaching. I had great assistants that I worked with, great head coaches that I had the privilege of working under. And in fact, David Hines is here today, and Jim Denton. They were both in my typing class. David is the director of the AIA. Jim Denton was a former principal here, Corona del Sol. And if you believe that, I was a typing teacher. The outstanding student athletes that I was able to coach and work with during my career is what makes coaching so rewarding. And it's not just the great athletes, it's the great people. And the reason they're great people is because they were great parents. I hope you student athletes are able to thank your mom and dad as many times as possible, because they're the backbone of what makes a great student athlete. Thanks for the Tempe All-City. I'm on the board here and the Hall of Fame committee. They started in 1983. The founding group has started something that not many cities in the nation, much less Arizona, have. We are very lucky to have the Tempe All-City Association. And I thank them for this special award, this honor, and especially because Tempe means a lot to me. Tempe High means a lot to me. I bleed blue, and always have. My mom and dad moved here to Tempe High when I was in the 6th grade. I went to Broadmoor, went to McCamey, and I went to Tempe High and ASU. I taught at Tempe High for 37 years. I remember Southern, anything south of Southern and anything east of rural was farmland when I went to school here. One of the things, when I was at Tempe High, I set the record for the 800. And it was a great thing. I used to always like having that record until it just kept standing. And then now everybody knows how old I am. So I still hold it, but that's kind of unfortunate now. I lettered at track at ASU. And football was really my love. I had torn my knees out in my younger days at Tempe High playing football. So I couldn't play anymore because we didn't have insurance back then. So I couldn't get surgery. And the only good thing out of this whole thing was it kept me out of Vietnam. I ended up being 4F. But I missed football, so that was my love. That was what I started coaching at Tempe High in 1971 under Alan Benedict. My first year's salary was $5,700. Coaching a sport was $250. Those were the years, and we were rich back then. That was some great money, great times. I coached 3 sports, as many coaches did back then, and most of my career I did 3 sports. Very fortunate to have worked with some great coaches and great athletes. Athletes that won Super Bowl rings, 3rd in the Heisman and Heisman trophy. So it was some opportunities to work with some great young men and women in track and field. I worked as a girls coach also. My career choice as a teacher and a coach has allowed me to be part of some great experiences. I was fortunate enough to be on the chain crew for the Cardinals for 30 years. One of our coaches worked at ASU, so that was something I was fortunate to be able to work the sidelines. And when I was coaching football and had that experience to be right there on the sideline next to coaches in the pro level and athletes was a great experience, and allowed me to work 3 Super Bowls and a Pro Bowl on top of that. Also, I was able to go to Australia and coach football, American football in Australia 9 times, and able to take my family. I would have never been able to afford to do that without the opportunities that this profession provided for me. I was able to volunteer and work the 1984 Olympic Games as an access controller, the boxing and track and field venue. And we did double time, me and another coach, Curtis Cook, did double time duty, and so they gave us a gold medal at the end of this. And then the best probably experience was being able to coach my sons. Totally rewarding. Now, the one thing that people at Tempe High and my family have had to endure is my stupid jokes. So here comes a couple. This award reminds me of a farmer getting an award. He's outstanding in his field. And usually these jokes are quick, they're dumb, and people got to think about it and go, what is it? What's that? And then most people figure it out. Remember when air was free at the gas station, and now it's $1.50. You know why? Inflation. What award did Chewbacca win his first season as a pro athlete? Wookiee of the Year. Anyway, those are the kind of things I've done all my career. I tried to keep things light and have the student athletes and the coaches I worked with enjoy this opportunity and the games that they played. And for the most part, it worked out pretty well. This is a special honor and a direct result of my faith and my family and my friends. Without the support throughout my career, this honor would not be possible. And I thank them for all the opportunities that were ahead of me. Congratulations to the All-City athletes and their parents. Their parents that are here and all the ones coming today make many sacrifices to help their sons and daughters achieve success. Again, thanks to the All-City Association, the work you have done for the student athletes of the Tempe Union School District. Thank you.
Assistant Principal in charge of athletics at McClintock, and I'm going to talk about Miss, I always say her first name wrong, so I'm going to call her P. Perez Mendoza.
Everybody call her P.
Paola. Paola was our heart and soul. She was a backbone of our team. You know, the thing that impressed me about her, yes, she's a tremendous offensive player. She's a tremendous student in the classroom. She's a tremendous kid around campus. But this year, I really saw her come into her own on and off the court, especially on the court for us. She, every game, I want to say she averaged 10 to 15 steals or 10 to 15 deflections. She was the backbone of what we did this year, and we have made that turn in our program where we're starting to be noticed and people starting to take notice of McClintock girls basketball. And I'm just happy that we had the opportunity to have her on the court with us for 2 years. We wish her well. She's not here today, but Mom is here. Mom, you want to come up? You just got to stand up right here and act like you're P. We're truly blessed to have her for the 2 years and very excited to see where she goes next year. We're still waiting for that. We haven't heard anything as of yet. But
she has like almost 30 offers from different like universities and colleges around all the country, even though including Alaska though.
30 offers, that's amazing. And we're just waiting for her to make that decision where she's going to take her game for next year. So we're very proud of P. Wish she was here to celebrate, but I know she's out playing right now, impressing more college scouts and doing her thing. So Paola Perez Mendoza, thank you for what you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having us. First, I want to say I want to thank everybody for all the coaches, parents, for taking that extra precautionary measure throughout this season because it's been incredibly hard for everyone to stay safe. So for basketball, wrestling, and soccer, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, I have 3 of my players right here, and I'm going to start with Dashi Tabadatsi, and I'm sorry, I wrote everything down here. Every team has that one player who is very charismatic, always an optimist, regardless of the situation, and that person is Dachi. Dachi's the type of player who shows up at practice and in the games with a smile and turns everything around. And when he scores, he lights up like the 4th of July, so he always brought that extra energy to the team. Then we have Orlando Monroy. They say the quiet ones are the most dangerous ones, and that certainly applies to Orlando because he never made a fuss out of anything. He always kept on pushing, and I was always looking to score. Whenever we had to do a penalty shot or any sidekick, he was our go-to guy because he could just send it in and has an amazing kick, which won us many games. And last, they say the
some of the biggest gifts come in small packages, and that applies to our 5'2" giant right here, and that's Zachariah Al-Hajaji. It's hard to believe that Zach picked up the game 5 years ago. Before that, he wasn't even playing soccer. And Zach and Orlando, which I forgot to mention, are both co-captains of the team. Zach has been playing varsity for 4 years. All of the kids here have been playing for 4 years. And he always brought that presence that we're going to win, we're going to do good, we're going to take it. And that's something that I'm very, very proud of him. He never gave up in the 4 years that he played for me. He never missed a game. And one of the biggest compliments from another coach from a team that our rivalry team was, thank goodness that you're graduating, because he was that good. I'm very blessed to have been part of this team, and in the many, many years that I've done this, this has been by far the best. And I want to thank everybody and these gentlemen right here. Thank you.
Get closer, get closer. You gotta get closer.
Is it on?
Yep.
Okay. I'll make sure I speak up quite a bit as well, just in case you can't hear through the microphone. My name's Anthony Bale. I'm the head wrestling coach at McClintock High School. I'm here in honor of Alonzo Garcia and David Garcia. I can actually say, two of the better wrestlers that I had the honor of actually coaching in the last few years, all at McClintock. Alonzo Garcia, he has a weighted grade point average
of 4.2. He just has grown in the last 2 years. He's a junior at McClintock. Has always struggled with maintaining his weight issue and body fat percentage. He's finally figured out everything that wrestling has taught him as far as exercising, good nutritional balance throughout the season, and it showed off as part of this award. David Garcia has a weighted grade point average of 4.3. He is my senior. For the past 3-4 years of his wrestling career, unfortunately, he's had to wrestle in a weight class that he was probably underweight by at least 10 pounds, just because of the way wrestling is, guys that he had to compete against, but he wasn't going to give up. He told me, Coach, I want to wrestle, I'm going to wrestle, I can do this. And he was actually very successful. Not as successful as he wanted to be. This year, he came in, dominated the room. He was by far the hardest working wrestler that we had as far as when it comes to learning the techniques. He applied it, he earned his spot at 126, and he dominated there. I really think
if he was able to kind of maintain his actual wrestling weight
for all 4 years of his wrestling career, he'd be probably multi-state champion.
David is going to ASU coming up once after he graduates. Both wrestlers,
Alonzo wrestled at 120, David at 126. It goes to show you that when you have a good partner, a good teammate, even though wrestling is an individual sport, it's still a team sport. When you have a good workout partner, them two would work out quite a bit. The hard work that they put paid off in the end. Both state qualifiers and both honored to receive this award today for All City of Tempe. Please join me in congratulating them. Alonzo, David, congratulations. Thank you. Good.
Hello, everybody. I'm Coach Gerald Stewart. I'm the girls soccer coach at McClintock High School. It's my first year as a head coach ever, and what a year to be a head coach, right, for COVID. It's quite challenging, but we made it through. My player is Jordan Whitaker. So a soccer ball can travel about anywhere from 40 to 60 miles an hour, right? And most of us are jumping out of the way when that's coming at us. But it takes a special kind of person to want to actually dive in that way of the soccer ball and try to save it. So Jordan was our goalie. She's been a goalie for McClintock for 4 years on varsity. And she played every game I saw, regardless of the score. She always worked hard, right? To the point where even after several games, Desert Mountain, Arcadia, teams that are really, really, really good, they came up after the game and recognized her. I said, hey, good job. Way to play well, right? North Canyon's coach reached out to me and said, hey, she should be playing in college, right? So I was happy to find out last night when I was talking to Jordan, just trying to get some information, that she's decided to stay local and go to South Mountain Community College, where she's going to play soccer there. So that's pretty awesome, on a scholarship, correct? So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not a big talker, to the point. So thank you very much.
For this wonderful opportunity for these kids to receive these awards. I just finished my 23rd year as head coach at Marcos de Niza. And it was definitely a crazy season. It was a tough one when we found out we may not have a season. And this young man right here sat in that office with me, and it's probably one of the toughest times that, as a coach I've had ever. But I was so blessed that we had a season, especially for our seniors. But before I go ahead and talk about Neil, I'd like to thank my athletic director, Lenica Reese. She did a wonderful job for us this year. The Coves hit everybody at different times in different ways, and our program as well. And there was a time we had 8 games in about 12 days. And as a coach, to not have that practice time because it's all games, it was a tough situation. Especially we had 2 guys back from last year, Neo and one other player, and that was it. Started a freshman and a sophomore this year as well, which in my 23 years there, I've had 1 freshman ever. Along with that, we did a great job this year. We got 21st in the state, which would have been in the playoffs normally. This year they took 16. So, for Neo, that was a tough situation as well. But we had a great year, and he was a huge part of it for us. Just a pleasure to have out there. Again, 1 of 2 back. He's my captain this year, and the accolades, like he's my leading scorer, second in assists, all that stuff, that pales in comparison to the type of kid he is and the relationship that we have. Because I value being a competitor most, and I have a competitor right here in front of me. And that means so much to me. First team, all region, and all those things as well. But All City is a huge award for this young man, because these 5 schools are solid in this district, and he really stepped up this year. And again, great things will happen to him in the future. But Nehemiah Washington.
All right, good morning. I just first want to thank Tempe Union, All City, and our AD, Lenica. I'm not the head coach, but I kind of was the interim. Those of you who know Jeremy Neer, he had a really tough family situation, so I was happy to help out and help out with wrestling. So I have the pleasure of announcing Haley and telling you a little bit about her. So she is a sophomore, and for those of you who do not know, she's grown so much. Looking at her last year compared to this year, it's night and day. She is not only an athlete, she's a student athlete. She takes her classroom work very seriously and is not happy with just being average. She brings that mentality onto the mats. Her first year was not sunshine and rainbows. It was tough both mentally and physically, and it was something that was new to her and pushed her to new levels. When the season rolled around this year, there was a switch that clicked in Haley. She walked in the first day of practice, ready to go with 110% effort. She shared with me how much she's been working out over the summer, how she changed her diet, and how excited she was for the season. Little did she know, and did we know, that we would have a crazy season. We had a bunch of curveballs, as did most of us coaches. From the season being canceled, and then not, and then being quarantined numerous times for a total of 5 weeks. And being the only girl on the team after the season restarted. Even though she was wrestling boys, she never complained. She worked even harder. With only a few matches under her belt, she made it to state. State was not only physically challenging, but it was also mentally. She tried her best and learned a lot from state. Haley has been a leader in the classroom, on the mats, and is someone that brightens my day every day. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for you. Haley.
First, I want to say thank you to the Tempe All City Board for having this for us today. I really appreciate it. I'm here to introduce to you Megan Kirchhard as a Tempe All City basketball player for Corona del Sol. I mean, I can give you all of her stats, everything like that, first team all region, and that's great. But to me, she's a program changer. When I took this job 2 years ago, we didn't have much. She walks into the gym one June day, and you know, our program has changed for the better. She is the leader of our team, on the court, off the court, in the classroom, and that is what you are looking for in a student athlete. And I am so fortunate to have had her the last 2 years, and I'm really looking forward to having her in her senior year, where I know we're going to be able to do some great things with her as our leader. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. It's for the soccer coaches. I don't know where Coach Smith is, but I just want to introduce these two ladies here. I've got senior Ashley Hill
And junior Kara Kaspers. And I'm sure if Coach Bobby Smith was here, he would be able to say that, again, these are girls like Coach Salazar alluded to, program changers and just a great influence, I'm sure, on their team. And again, I'll leave it at that. And girls, congratulations, Ashley Hill and Kara Kaspers. You want me to just stay up here and introduce my dad? Okay.
Sure.
All right, I'll stay up here and introduce sophomore Aaron Garza. This is Aaron Garza. He is a sophomore here at Corona del Sol. He is a two-time varsity letterman, and this year we had no choice but to award him as the captain of our team, and he just continues to do a great job, again, on and off the field, and I'm fortunate to have him for 2 more years, so I look forward to that and the future he has. Aaron Garza.
3 guys this year that made the team. With us today is Gavin Martinez. He was a freshman for us this year. He was a really good surprise. Obviously, over the quarantine, we didn't get to meet all of our incomers, and so he came up this year.
Stepped up and did a really great job for us. He ended up being a state qualifier for us, won a match at state, did a great job. We're looking for big things from him. In the future, he's done great so far. He's been very committed, very hardworking, so we're looking for big things from him moving on down the road. Our other 2 were Anthony Garcia. He's a junior for us. He was a second-year letter winner, second year that he qualified for the state tournament, and he wound up taking 4th at state for us. And our third was Josh Gutierrez. He was a 3-year letter winner for us. He qualified for the state tournament for the first time this year and really put an exclamation point on the end of his career there. So those are our 3 guys. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It is my esteemed pleasure to present this award to this outstanding young lady, young athlete, a freshman who just came in and absolutely wowed us this season. She was everything for our team this year. first team all region, Central Region. Led 6A in rebounds. She was #1 in rebounds. Led all of 6A in double-doubles. The only player in 6A to have average double figures in points and double figures in rebounds. And so I'm extremely proud of this young woman and what she's accomplished this year. But she's not only an outstanding athlete, she's a superstar student in the classroom, straight A student. And I don't think we've had an athlete at Mountain Pointe since Nicole Powell of this caliber. And so it is my esteemed pleasure and with Mountain Pointe pride that I present the All-City Award to Miss Anaya Rydell. The future.
Two-year captain for us. Both years I've been here as head coach. Led us to 2 state championship appearances. He's just everything you wish for in a young man, in a young adult. On the court, off the court, on the field, off the field. He's just an amazing young man, does everything the right way. True leader, leads by example. One of those kids you look at and you just know in 10, 15 years he's going to be successful in whatever he chooses to do in life. 4.0 student, full ride football scholarship to Utah next year. Led the state in rebounds, blocks, double-doubles, defensive player of the year. Just too many accolades to name, and we're definitely going to miss him. Next, we have True Washington, sophomore. Led the state in steals, second in the state in scoring. Just a phenomenal talent. Going to be a very special player for us over the next couple of years, and you don't really get to coach too many people like these two, and we're just blessed to have them both come at the same time. It's very rare, and you know they've really laid a foundation for what we want to be as a program leading our school.
Hello everybody, good afternoon. My name is Greg Dayud. I'm the head wrestling coach at Mountain Pointe High School. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for having us here today, Corona del Sol, and also the Tempe All-City Board, of course. Thank you so much for what you do year in and year out for us and for sports across the East Valley here in Tempe. So thank you. Today we're here to talk about Nick Haddad. He is our 160-pounder. He is a senior, and he will be sorely missed. Wrestling is sometimes a sport where, to be totally honest, we catch the people who maybe don't always fit in other sports. And I say this because I love Nick, and this is all about what kind of guy Nick really is. I think he reflects a lot of the great things to me. But most sports you can think of a body type. Wrestling doesn't have a body type. We have a mentality type. That's all that matters. Big, tall, short, doesn't matter. Any good wrestling coach will tell you, bring him in. We'll find it. We'll make it work. That's what we do. And Nick's kind of guy, he found wrestling and wrestling found him, and it worked out. He worked hard for 4 years, all 4 years. He lettered many times, and he was always successful, but he always kind of, to be honest with you, listening to these coaches come up here and talk about some of the accolades and the very amazing and impressive accolades of these athletes, I think to myself, you know, not a lot of people knew who Nick Haddad was before we went to state, and even before sectionals, but he never let it stop him. He wasn't the guy that was supposed to place. He wasn't the guy that was seeded #1. He wasn't that guy. He's just the guy that wasn't going to be stopped, and he understood that it didn't matter until the last match. And he made his last match the match of state to take to place and to be an all-state wrestler and forever get his name up on that wall. And for that, well, that's why he's up there. So we'll always remember him. And we couldn't be more proud of him because it's a reflection on his character and who he is and why he will be a winner and a success no matter what he does. Can't be more proud of than Nick Haddad. Nick Haddad, everybody.
Hi, I'm Coach Chris, representing for both boys and girls soccer. Thank you, Derek, for joining us. First, I want to talk about Sydney. She is one of our senior captains. She, from the very beginning of her freshman year, she's always been a leader. She's stand out at tryouts and all that stuff. And we said, oh boy, we get her for 4 years. We're super psyched about it. So she's a senior captain this year, second leading goal scorer on our team with 5 goals, 5 assists, second team all region. Huge impact player up top. Strong player on the ball, great distribution to our wide players, always made a lot of chances for us in our attack. And she has so much passion and heart for the game, and I wish her all the best in college. Lindsay is our second senior captain. She is not here today. She has a state cup game. That's probably where all the other soccer coaches are. But she is also a senior captain, leading goal scorer, 7 goals, 6 assists, first team all region. Lindsay is also her freshman year coming out super strong, just a great kid. I asked their parents, I'm like, how did you guys raise such good kids? Because I have a 5 and 3-year-old and I would love any advice I can get. So they're just tremendous athletes, tremendous ladies on and off the field, great GPAs, just all around good athletes on and off the field and in the classroom. Last but not least, we have Mackenzie. She is a junior captain. From her very first year, she was just a very coachable player. Worked hard, never complained about anything. Well, didn't really talk much, but as a coach, you're like, I'll take it as long as you work hard, right? But she made honorable mention for our all region. Great leader on the field and helps cover our outside backs when beat almost every single game. Gets stuck in hard to tackles and all 50-50 battles, which then goes to all for nosebleeds. But she never wants to be taken off the field, even though it's not a good situation. Shuts down big-time players in 1v1 situations, picks team up when they're just playing down. And when they're just checking out and they're just having a bad game, she definitely picks up the team by example and just gets stuck in and just brings us back into the game. She's good at finding early balls to create attacking chances. I can go on and on about my girls. They're just all around good athletes, and I'm honored to be able to coach them in their high school careers, and glad that I have at least one more year with one of them. So congrats to those 3 ladies. Now, Coach Willie for our boys soccer, he's actually at a state cup game as well. But he sent me something that he wanted to actually say about his player. Derek is a junior that stepped up and became a leader and a captain for the limited team. He had 5 goals and 4 assists in a season at Mount Pointe turned some heads. Having a limited roster, Derek was a great example of what leadership means, leading the younger core to a successful season. He will be a huge part of the boys program next year, and Mountain Pointe will be even more successful with players following his example. So these are athletes from Mountain Pointe and our soccer program. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to take this off just for a second. I just wanted to congratulate all of the nominees that's made today in today's culture of COVID and student athlete entitlement. You did a great job being here today, so we're very thankful to have all the athletes and the parents, organizations, schools, and all that different stuff. First job being a girls basketball coach, first time. I did boys all my life, and I had some, not doubts, but some worries, because I played for Royce Urey, greatest basketball coach in the history of Arizona, ever, and this guy was, didn't play. He's accountability, consistency, dedication, discipline, and I just didn't know if I could do that with the girls. Not in terms of screaming and putting them down, disrespect, but in terms of getting it done. And if she was loosen up a little bit, she'd probably say some funny stuff to you, but we're not gonna put her on the spot like that. Because we pushed them and they did a great job, and I was excited about it, still am excited about it. And this young lady here, the first time we lost some people, I'm pretty sure a lot of you did too, to prep basketball, to prep sports, and the CAA. They just took over because COVID said, AIA, no, we're gonna make you wait, no sports. So a lot of kids left, I'm pretty sure everybody knows that. So we had 12 freshmen, all fall season, all fall. And that was very limited with your training and your conditioning. So all the time I'm sitting there going, oh my God, what did I get myself into? 12 freshmen now for varsity, not for freshmen, not for JV, for varsity. So we sitting here, Coach Casey and I going, I'm on his case. I'm like, what did you get me into? Because he taught me to take this, to go into put an application in. And the very first time I saw this young lady, she put me at rest because she wouldn't allow me to treat them any different than I would boys. And we pushed them pretty hard, and she'd come to us and say, Coach, you don't have to be afraid, man. We can play, we're tough, and we can get it done. And we felt better about it. And we didn't get our upperclassmen until, I think, November. So all that time, you looking at our leader. All 5'3", 5'4". And she encouraged us as coaches. And we felt so encouraged with her and her friends. And the thing I like about E is she didn't care about herself. She cared about her teammates. She could get 25, and she probably got tired of me saying, E, get 30. Because I knew we had to have that to win. But she would pass that basketball, and she would help her teammates, and they would collaborate. Man, I mean, it was amazing what they did this year. I think we only lost 4 games. We lost 3 in the season, and they were all close, and then we lost to Westwood in the playoffs. And I don't want to blame her because she knows I am, but she got hurt the last month of the season, and we still made the playoffs and made it to the round 16. So with her, and like I said, I'm not putting pressure on her, but with her, man, we had a shot. We actually had a shot to go a couple of more rungs up because she can handle that ball, she can shoot it, she talks, she's very good at leading, and she's just tough as nails. So I just wanted her to know we appreciate her and her family and the DV organization and administration there at DV. We appreciate all of that, and we're thankful that you guys invited us over. I'm thankful for our athletic director because I was supposed to be in California for club basketball, but something, I just didn't go. I'm glad I didn't because I would have hated to miss this opportunity to talk about her and the team in general. They're not here, but I really enjoyed them this year. They did a great job. But I want you to give her a round of applause. She did a great job this year for us. Is that it? Okay. And thank you, E, yourself. Do you have anything you want to impel? No? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, guys.
Another respectable and I would say impromptu kind of situation here in terms of this award ceremony. So just thank you for all the efforts. Thank you to the athletic department of Desert Vista High School. Thank you to the AD, Mr. Eubanks, as he's here. Thank you so much. Fellow coaches, players, and everyone in attendance today, parents and everyone in attendance today. My name is Marvin Hippolyte, and I am the Desert Vista High School girls soccer coach. This is my 10th season here. And today I have the pleasure of recognizing 2 of my athletes who have contributed greatly to our season this year. Firstly, I would like to recognize Emma Green, senior. She's represented today by her mom, Lynn, and dad, Tyler. All right. Emma was our captain this year, but Emma is this is her 3rd award, I believe, in terms of the Tempe All-City. She also has a 2-time All-Region first team. Emma, she is the epitome of a leader. I remember Emma, her first day in tryouts. I remember seeing all of her hard work, her tenacity, and to see her growth from freshman to senior, and all of the work she's put in. I know that Emma, she has what it takes, and to be a leader this year, it definitely was I would say it was a step in the right direction for our program, and for her to finish the season on 7 goals and 5 assists this year. In her previous years, she actually was the most outstanding player. She led our team in terms of goals, scoring titles 2 years in a row, and so Emma has contributed greatly for our program. She will be sadly missed, and I know as coach, Definitely she holds a special place in my heart to see her as a senior now moving on to her next step in life in terms of college and everything that she has. So Emma, I'm very proud of you. She's definitely the player that the coach can say that has an it factor, and also, as coach rightfully says, she definitely puts the team before her. Okay, just want to highlight one of her main performances for the past seasons where she is the player that makes other players better, and that's what I like about her. She capitalizes on her opportunities. She's the hardest worker. She's a leader, and she has that it factor. And I'll tell you, her teammates absolutely adore her. They love her, and she's the kind of captain and the kind of leader that a coach really looks up to. So it makes my life and my job very easy. So again, I would like to congratulate Emma Green on her selection this year. Great job, Emma. Next, Maya Fortune to the left. Maya is a junior. This is, yes, her third year as a varsity member. This year, Maya, she had the most goals, 8 goals and 5 assists. She led the team in scoring. She can play any position, any position. She played defense in previous years for me, and this year I wanted to give her the opportunity to be free. I told her, hey, I don't ever want to put you in defense this year. I just want to keep you on offense because I know that she has what it takes, and with the guidance and with the coaching, she's so coachable, so coachable. Made my life very easy. It was a pleasure seeing her on the field progress and grow and flourish into the player that she's becoming. Maya is represented today by her dad, Felipe, and mom, Lizzie. All right, thank you all for your support. They've definitely raised a beautiful young talent. And this year, I'm so proud of her for all of her efforts, all of her contribution towards the program. Our program is really in the right direction. And one thing I will say as a coach that she has the it factor. I just had to talk to her one time. That's it. And then she goes on and she does what needs to be done to get the job done. Maya, great talent, great personality, okay, hard worker, tenacious, and again, teammates absolutely adore her. So I am very proud to be here as coach to have this award to Maya Fortune this year. So guys, thank you all very much. Thank you very much. All right, enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
All right. Glad. All right, I just want to start off first by obviously thanking the Tempe All-City Association. I know last year we didn't have the opportunity to have this and recognize the athletes that put in the time and the energy into our program and our soccer program, and not even just on the field, but off the field as well. So I'm glad that we're here and able to do that. And I thank parents for having their sons here so that we can recognize them. I'm going to start with our juniors here on the left. So first on the far left is Connor McHale. Connor was injured for us, I guess, for the first half of the season, and that was a little rough for us. Connor is a very good player. If you saw any of our games, we are very much a different team when we have Connor on the field. And so this season, with a compacted season and Connor being injured, it gave us a little. We had to figure out where we're at the beginning of the season. But having Connor back through the end of the season and through the playoffs, Connor is just a great player that does a lot of things on the field that when you see him do it, it looks real easy. But if you know soccer and you know what he's doing, you have to take a step back and go, wow, I can't believe he did that. I was impressed a lot. Just Connor's passion for the game and his desire to just wanting us to win. He'll work as hard as he can, do whatever he needs to do because he wants the team to be successful. And so I'm looking forward to having him next year. I think we've got a good group coming back next year, and Connor will be one of the leaders next year. So Connor McHale. Next up, Nolan Billiter. Nolan just high jumped in a track meet, and then Nolan and I will go back to Westwood for a track meet this afternoon. So I get to see Nolan on the soccer field and on the track. But last year, Nolan, as a sophomore, came on, played varsity, ended up starting, I think, second half of the year, most of the year, and was actually his teammates voted him last year the most improved player. And so it was nice to have him come back as a junior this year and just a solid staple at one of our center backs. Our defense all season long, excuse me, 13 games, they allowed 9 goals. I think of those 9 goals, I think 2 were PKs. So really 7 goals in the run of play. As a coach, that's all you can ask, that you have a solid back four that is going to do what they need to do to, make sure the other team's not scoring. And Nolan was one of those. Again, Nolan's a phenomenal athlete, was never worried about him getting outrun or anything like that. He knows where he needs to be, knows what he needs to do, and I look forward to having him back next year, again, as we progress on the progress that we made this year. So, Nolan Billiter. Casey Morris. Casey, this is my 4th year as the varsity head coach, and so Casey and Leland were freshmen when I took over the program. So for me, this is kind of a big deal because these are the first athletes, these are the first players that went all 4 years with me as the head coach of the program. So Casey, 3 years on varsity, was Central Region Offensive Player of the Year. Should have been Player of the Year, but we're not going to argue that. He got the recognition he deserved. Casey's a phenomenal player. He's valedictorian. Just going to throw that out there. So not often do I get to say that as a soccer coach, but he's valedictorian in senior class, and that shows on the field. He knows what he needs to do. He knows where he needs to be, and makes it look effortless while he does it. He works his butt off. Nothing more that Casey wanted than to win a state championship. And day in and day out, he put the work in on the practice field. He every game he laid it all out there, and really just represented what our program is about, and over the last 3 years on varsity. And I'm glad that I'm able to stand here and talk about him today, because he deserves all the recognition that he gets, because I think he's one of those players that is perfectly okay with not getting talked about and going under the radar, but he deserves the recognition because he, as Casey developed over the season, our team just got better and better and better. And so we're going to miss him next year. I don't know, maybe U of A, unfortunately, I don't know. But he hasn't decided yet. But whatever he does, he's going to be great at it. So, Casey Morris. And then finally, Leland Trauberger on the right. Again, Leland was an outside back for us, and I don't know. It's hard to describe what Leland does because it's just so consistent. And there was never a time where we had to worry what was going on. Like, Leland was just there, and Leland got it done. And Leland was, he has a long throw-in, which I would say we probably scored, I don't know, 40% of our goals off of long throw-ins or set pieces. And I think as an outside back, having the ability to get forward and be a part of that, again, just something that I guess as a coach you kind of take for granted, but I mean, just a solid player that really, again, part of that back line that only allowed 9 goals in 13 games, and you know, we are definitely going to miss Leland next year. You know, although we have some great players coming back, Casey and Leland and our graduating class of, what do we have, 13 seniors, are gonna be missed, but they definitely have done a lot to leave the program in a good position to be successful next year. So, congratulations, guys.
All right, well, here's my motley crew here. Biggest question I got this week was, what should we wear? Because they're so used to just going in the room, wearing shorts and t-shirts and beating each other up on a daily basis. So, again, just like my fellow coaches have said, we can't thank the Tempe All City enough for giving these guys this honor and recognition today. Some of these guys should have been up here last year, and so I get to talk to them a little bit more today. And so that speech might be a little bit longer, maybe not. So I'll try to keep it less than Elliot and Coach Williams. Thanks, Tommy, on your way out, and we appreciate everything you've done for us at our school. Thanks for all the support that you've given us throughout the years, and good luck. So we're going to start out with the two girls. Amanda Ramirez, down there at the end, is here with her mother, Rosario Ramirez. She is our first Desert Vista female state placer. She took 5th this year at the state tournament. Because of the COVID situation, I know a lot of the other sports, they split up their practices anyways with their varsity teams and JV teams. We've always been together until this year. We put the freshmen and all the brand new people in the morning, and Amanda, I didn't get to see her till the end of the year when we started getting ready for state. But, you know, she came in, and I did see her at the events at our dual meets, but she grew on me in that 1 or 2 weeks that we had together. And so I look forward to helping her out, and maybe we can get a girl coach hired before Tommy leaves, and help these girls out so that it's not just me coaching them. But I look forward to moving her spot up that podium. Amanda, you. The next one is Wisan. Wisan has been with us for a couple years. She's very dedicated to making herself good, just like our valedictorian. Whatever she does, she tries to do at the best of her ability. Can we try that one?
No, I'm just gonna see if.
Okay. So, she's here with her mother, Yan Song, and like I said, she's 25th in her class in the sophomore. She's one of our scholar athletes, and every day she comes in, she works hard. She'll wrestle anybody. She'll ask questions. She'll try to get better every day. Like I said, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's on the mat, she's doing whatever she can to get better. And I look forward to putting her on the podium. Wisan. So our next athlete here is Logan Smith. He's here with his mother and father, Lenny and Jennifer Smith. And he should have been up here last year. He won a state title last year. And he would have done the tour in front of the board and been on the All City banquet. This would have been his second one. Would have got a nice meal last year. Now he just gets water. That's okay though. He's losing weight. We're going to a tournament in Wisconsin, so he's got to lose a little bit of weight. But he's a 2-time section champ. He's a state champ from last year. This year he fell a little short, 3rd place. But you know, 3rd place means a lot because that means you took a loss, but you fought your way back to that 3rd spot and you left a winner. And I tell him that all the time, that he left a winner, and that shows that nothing's going to hold him down. And we're going to try to right that ship next year and put him back at top. Logan also is a scholar athlete, AIA scholar athlete this year. Logan Smith. Our next one is Damon Miller. He finished the year 18-0. He is here with his father, Scott Miller. Damon just wants to be good. He just wants to do everything possible. He comes in the room every day and has a focus every day. You know, he's that kid that we all have somewhere in your program that he doesn't want me to close the door. So Tommy, when lights are off, he's still in there. But I'm trying to kick him out all the time. But he comes in, and for that reason, he was a state qualifier last year. This year, he won our section. He won the state tournament. For all that hard work, he was rewarded. Damon Miller. The next person is Maurice Ramirez. He's here with his mother, Chona Ramirez. Maurice is going to be missed. He's a senior leaving our program this year. In his 4 years, he's amassed 92 wins, 21 losses. He's a 3-time state qualifier. He's a 3-time state placer. His sophomore year, he did it. He also should have been talked about last year. So again, may go a little longer with him. He's a 2-time All-City. As a sophomore, he took 6th. As a junior, he worked his way up. And as a sophomore, originally, he probably didn't, he knew he was going to make the lineup, but we had a tough room that year, and he had to work his way and beat another kid who was an eventual state runner-up at a different school, because Maurice made him leave our school, unfortunately. But last year he took 5th, and that's where he earned his first All-City honor. This year, he is a 3-time section champ, and now he is a state champ for Desert Vista. Maurice Ramirez. Next one is Dominic Hurtado. He's also leaving us this year, and his family is taking his siblings that should be wrestling for me in the future, but that's okay. I've already told them about that at our banquet earlier. Ivan and Shannon are here to share this honor with him. Dominic, he stands very well. Don't make him walk, because he may trip up those steps on his way back out. As a sophomore, he got injured. I think walking, no, running. But he fixed that last year, and he is a 2-time section champ, 2-time state qualifier, and this year he made it on top of the podium, got to the semis, took 4th at state. He is also a scholar athlete, AIA scholar athlete on our team. Dominic Hurtado. Next one is Jerry Rudiak. Jerry's here with Jerry and Lorraine, his parents. Jerry came to us from North Carolina 2 years ago. Jerry is probably, in that short time that he's been in our room, he's part of the heart and soul of our room. He comes in and he works with everybody. He makes sure everybody is doing their part. He holds kids accountable. He helps teach with me. So, and I foresee him to be a great coach later on in life, because he has immense knowledge in that head that's held in between those 2 ears that are blown up a little bit right now. But Jerry is a 4-time state qualifier in 2 different states. He qualified in North Carolina twice for 2 different schools. Luckily, we got to keep him. His dad left him with us for 2 years. He's a 2-time section finalist. He won the section this year. He just missed out both years as a junior and a senior, and placing at state. But like I said, without those accolades, he's still going to do immense great things, because like I said, when you see that coaching ability in people, he has that. He's going to be a great coach someday because he's going to give back to the sport. Jerry Rudiat. The next one is Kamalaya, who I probably messed that up. I just call him Kama because I can't say his whole name. He's here with his grandmother, Jeanette Fernandez. Kama, I'm not sure whether I'm probably putting words in his mouth. I don't know whether he thought about not wrestling after having a tough time out there in football. You know, they didn't have a great season this year, and I lost a lot of football guys because of that. And going through all the protocols that the kids had to go through prior to getting to winter sports, and then getting canceled right before we were getting ready to start all the winter sports. I know that in his mind, he probably, do I really want to do this? This is really hard. You know, I've had some success, but not great success. But he stuck it out, and he did, because last year he was a section finalist. This year, he didn't quite get there, but I'm sure he'll take the medal that he took home from state, finishing 5th at state, over winning a section title. He is also a scholar athlete for us, and he is a 2-time state qualifier, 5th at state, comma. And my last athlete is Jack Sarin, our heavyweight, always at the end. He's here with Brenton and Linda Sarin. Jack worked his way through the lineup. We have a lot of sophomores in our group this year, and a lot of sophomores that are big guys. So he got pushed last year as a freshman, or by those freshmen. He's a junior, and he fought off those sophomores that were coming for his spot. He thought it was his spot. He made it his spot, and he did a good job of securing that at that last week, so that he could become a 2-time state qualifier. He was a section runner-up. That kid that he lost to at the section tournament, he ended up wrestling just to get on the podium, and at the section tournament, he nearly got teched, I think, and which is losing by almost 15 points. At the state tournament, we fixed it, and he lost by 1 point, unfortunately. It's okay. These guys fall on me all the time. So, but Jack did a great job. I look forward to putting him higher on that podium as well. And before this falls on me, we're going to stop there. Jack Sarin. Thank you. You're good to go.